dari Komplek Balai Budaya Minomartani Ngaglik Sleman. Inilah Radio BBM, Jaringan Radio Komunitas Yogyakarta.
Warga Budaya, welcome to BBM FM Community Radio.
Radio Komunitas BBM FM, dukunglah budaya Indonesia.
Community Radio BBM FM, Creation for Nation.
107.7 BBM FM Community Radio. Hi Warga Budaya! To a special edition of a podcast exploring the rich tapestry of Batik Museum. I'm your host, Kezia, and today we're embarking on a journey into the rich tapestry of Indonesian culture, specifically the enchanting world of Batik. Joining me are all insightful co-hosts, Kuro and Irfan. How are you both feeling today?
Thrilled to be here, Kezia. Batik has always fascinated me, and I can't wait to delve deeper into its nuances.
Absolutely, Kezia. It's an honor to be part of this exploration into one of Indonesia's most treasured cultural expressions.
Fantastic! Now, before we dive into the intricate details of Batik, let's set the stage. We're centering our conversation around the Batik Museum Yogyakarta. Irfan, could you paint a picture for all listeners about Yogyakarta and its significance in the realm of Batik?
Sure thing. Yogyakarta, often referred to as the culture heart of Indonesia, holds a unique position in the world of Batik. Nestled on the island of Java, this city has been a long-standing hub for traditional arts and crafts. Its royal palaces, cultural events, and vibrant streets make it a heaven for those seeking an authentic Indonesian experience.
And let's not forget Malioboro Street, the pulsating heart of Yogyakarta's tourism. Lined with shops, boutiques, and street vendors, it's a treasure trove for Batik enthusiasts, showcasing the diversity and craftsmanship of this timeless art form.
Absolutely, Kuro. Now, Irfan, you've had first-hand experience at the Batik Museum, right? Could you share a bit about the museum atmosphere and what visitors can expect?
The Batik Museum Yogyakarta is more than a repository of fabrics. It's a living testament to Indonesia's Batik heritage. Founded in 1979 by Mr. Hadi Nugroho and Miss Dewi Sukaningsih, it stands as a tribute to generations of Batik artisans. The museum exudes a sense of dedication to preserving and educating visitors about the intricate world of Batik.
And Kezia, you have visited Yogyakarta as well. What was your impression of the city's connection to Batik?
Yogyakarta's connection to batik is palpable, from the Royal Kraton showcasing exquisite batik to the bustling markets, where artisans bring their creation to life. The city breeds batik. It's not just an art form here, it's a way of life.
Yogyakarta's commitment to preserving its culture identity, especially towards batik, is truly commendable. It's a city where tradition and modernity seamlessly coexist.
Before we wrap up this introduction, any personal anecdotes or moments that stood out during your visits?
Well, walking through the narrow alleys of Yogyakarta and stumbling upon small batik workshop was a delightful surprise. It's a city that surprises you at every turn, revealing the artisans' dedication to their craft.
I had the privilege of witnessing a live batik making demonstration at the museum. The precision and skill involved in every stroke of the canting were awe-inspiring. It's a hands-on experience that truly immerses visitors in the artistry.
Fantastic insights, both of you. As we embark on this batik odyssey, our listeners can expect a fascinating exploration into the history, symbolism, and craftsmanship of this iconic Indonesian art form. Stay tuned as we unravel the threads of batik-rich narrative. We'll be right back after a short break. Let's kick things off by diving into the rich history of batik. Irfan, could you take our listeners on a journey through the origins of a Batik Museum in Yogyakarta?
Absolutely, Kezia. The Batik Museum Yogyakarta holds a captivating history. Picture this. It was the vision of Mr. Hadi Nugroho and Mrs. Dewi Sukaningsih, individuals deeply embedded in the artistry of batik, being third-generation batik artisans. Their passion for this intricate craft and the profound desire to safeguard Indonesia's cultural legacy birthed the idea of a museum. This wasn't just about creating a space to display beautiful textiles. It was about preserving a heritage that had been woven into the very fabric of their family for generations.
That's truly fascinating. Can you elaborate on what sets this museum apart?
What makes the Batik Museum Yogyakarta truly special is its authenticity. Unlike many museums, a significant portion of its collection consists of family heirlooms. These aren't just artifacts, they are tangible expressions of a family's devotion to the art of batik. Imagine being surrounded by pieces that have been crafted and cherished by generations, each telling a unique story. It's this personal touch that sets this museum apart, making it a living testament to the dedication and love for batik that's been passed down through the years.
It sounds like a place where history and art converge. Now, Kuro, I know you visited the museum, right? Any personal reflections?
Absolutely, Kezia. Stepping into the Batik Museum Yogyakarta is like entering a time capsule of tradition and creativity. The palpable sense of history, the vibrant colors, and the meticulous craftsmanship on display, it's an immersive experience that transcends the boundaries of time. And knowing that these aren't just random artifacts but cherished family pieces adds a layer of connection that's truly unique.
And you know, Kezia, this museum wasn't just created for the family. It was founded with a broader purpose in mind.
Tell us more about that.
Well, Mr. Hadi Nugroho and Mrs. Dewi Sukaningsih were driven by a concern for the diminishing knowledge of batik among the younger generation. They wanted to create a space not only for exhibit, but to educate, ensuring that the intricate tales woven into every piece of batik continue to be appreciated and understood by generations to come.
That's truly commendable, using the museum not just as a showcase, but as a vessel for passing down cultural wisdom.
Absolutely. It's amazing how a museum can be more than just a repository of artifacts. It can be a living bridge connecting the past with the present and the future. And speaking of the connection, let's explore the intricacies of batik itself. In our next segment, stick around, listeners. We've only just begun our journey into the fascinating world of Indonesian batik. Welcome back, everyone. In this segment, we're delving into the intricate world of Indonesian batik. Irfan, could you shed some light on what makes batik a valuable heritage recognized by UNESCO?
Absolutely, Kezia. The recognition by UNESCO signifies the profound cultural significance of batik to Indonesia. It's not merely about the aesthetics of the fabric, it's a living repository of philosophies, advice, and cultural symbolism. UNESCO acknowledges batik as a world cultural heritage because it goes beyond being visually appealing. It encapsulates the essence of Indonesian life.
That's fascinating. Can you share some example of the symbolism found in batik?
Certainly, Kuro. Let's take the example of the batik keraton, like the one I'm wearing. The colors, predominantly black and white, convey deep meanings. The dark brown symbolizes the earth, fertility, and humility, a reminder that no matter our status, we all return to the earth. White represents purity and nobility, while black signifies patience, perseverance, and luxury.
Incredible. So every motif carries a story, right?
Exactly. Take the motif tambal, for instance. It's not just a design. It's a talisman against misfortune. When used as a blanket for the sick, it carries the hope for a swift recovery. It's a visual prayer woven into fabric.
And how about batik truntum?
Truntum is a fascinating motif. It translates to guidance or example. Wearing truntum signifies a commitment to goodness. It's often worn by parents during their child's wedding, symbolizing the role of being a guide and setting an example.
So, every batik piece narrates a story and imparts wisdom.
Absolutely, and these stories extend to life's pivotal moments. Batik isn't just attire, it's part of life's journey, from conception to beyond the grave.
Could you elaborate on the types of batik?
Batik can be broadly categorized into two types, batik keraton and batik pesisiran. Batik keraton, with its restrained color palette, often black and white, reflects the cultural and philosophical depths of the royal courts. On the other hand, batik pesisiran, originating from the northern coastal regions, is a burst of colors influenced by various cultures due to historical trade activities.
And how about the Batik Museum itself? When was it established?
The museum began its journey in 1970 and officially opened its doors in 1979. It started small, initiated by Mr. Hadi Nugroho, Mrs. Dewi Sukaningsih, and their family. Over time, it evolved, accumulating a substantial collection and gaining positive responses from visitors.
Are there specific batik pieces that attract more attention?
Visitors are often intrigued by the stories behind batik keraton, the deep narratives, the historical context, and even the batik associated with falling in love captivate their interest. However, batik pesisiran holds its own charm. The delicate and numerous collections here enrich the overall understanding of batik.
It's amazing how each piece has its narrative. Now, let's explore the making of batik in our next segment. Stick around, listeners. There's more to unravel in the enchanting world of Indonesian batik. Welcome back, everyone. In this segment, we're delving into the intricate process of crafting batik. Kuro, could you walk us through the meticulous artistry involved in creating batik?
Absolutely, Kezia. Crafting batik is a true labor of love, often involving both time-honored tradition and artistic innovation. In the Batik Museum Yogyakarta, they primarily focus on two types, batik tulis and batik cap.
That's right. Batik tulis or hand-drawn batik is an intricate process that can take up to a month, depending on the complexity of the design. The use of chanting, a small wax pen, allows the artist to create a detailed and unique pattern.
And what about batik cap?
Well, batik cap or stamp batik is a bit faster in production, usually completed in less than a week. And instead of using chanting, artisans use a chopper stamp to apply wax to the fabric, creating repetitive patterns.
It's also important to note that batik's authenticity lies in the materials used. Genuine batik involves using wax made from a mixture of paraffin or petroleum, dama resin from pine trees, and beeswax. This mix creates a durable and distinct wax for the batik process.
Now, I've heard about the significance of chanting in batik. Can you elaborate on this role?
Certainly. Chanting is a small, pen-like tool with a tiny reservoir for molten wax. and artists skillfully control the flow of wax through the spout, creating intricate designs on the fabric. And the museum boasts an impressive collection of chanting, including local ones from Pekalongan and Yogyakarta, as well as European ones from France, Germany, and the Netherlands.
And the museum doesn't just display them. They've documented the entire process of crafting chanting, from creation to implementation. This dedication to showcasing the tools of the trade adds a layer of understanding for visitors.
It's not just about the end product, it's about appreciating the craftsmanship that goes into every stage of the process.
Absolutely. And what about the colors used in batik?
The colors in batik come from a fascinating process of dyeing. The museum houses an extensive collection documenting the various methods of processing synthetic dyes. Understanding the chemistry behind the colors adds another dimension to appreciating the art form.
And let's not forget the role of the artisans. The museum collaborates with skilled batik makers to create samples documenting the entire process. It's a living archive of how the art evolves and adapts.
That's a comprehensive look at the intricate process of crafting batik. Before we wrap up this segment, any final thoughts, Irfan?
Batik isn't just a fabric, it's a canvas of culture, a narrative in every thread. The Batik Museum Yogyakarta not only preserves this art, but also opens a window for enthusiasts to delve deep into its creation.
Well said. It's a journey of creativity, tradition, and innovation that continues to weave the vibrant tapestry of Indonesian heritage.
And with that, listeners, we'll be back shortly to explore more facets of Indonesian batik. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of our exploration into the world of Indonesian batik. We've uncovered the history, symbolism, and craftsmanship behind this mesmerizing art form. Now, let's tie it all together. Irfan, what struck you the most about the Batik Museum Yogyakarta?
One word: dedication. The museum's commitment to preserving not only the end product, but the entire journey of batik is truly admirable. The documentation of tools, the detailed process, and the collaboration with artisans provide visitors with a holistic understanding.
Absolutely. And the fact that the museum isn't just a static display but a dynamic space for workshop and collaboration is noteworthy. It's not about freezing batik in time but allowing it to evolve and adapt.
Irfan, you've shared story about the symbolism in batik. Are there any particular motif or philosophies that resonate with you?
If I have to pick one, the motif tambal, the talisman against misfortune, is particularly intriguing for me. It's not just a belief, it's a visual representation of hope and healing, and the idea of batik as a companion from birth to death, each motif telling a story of life's journey, is profound.
Kezia, you have visited the museum, right? And what stood out to you during your visit?
The diversity of batik types was astonishing. From the intricate batik tulis to the vibrant batik pesisiran. Each had its charm. and the effort to educate visitors about the meticulous craftsmanship from chanting to dyeing added a layer of appreciation.
It's not just a museum, it's an educational experience.
Irfan, you mentioned earlier that batik and wayang are the pillars of Indonesian culture. Could you elaborate on that?
Batik and wayang, the traditional puppetry, are culture touchstones. They embody the values, beliefs, and stories that define Indonesia. Without these cultural foundations, our identity would be incomplete.
And how can listeners engage with Indonesian batik beyond this podcast?
One way is by supporting initiatives like the Batik Museum Yogyakarta, whether through workshop, purchasing authentic batik, or simply spreading awareness. Every contribution helps sustain this invaluable cultural heritage.
And let's not forget about the role of travelers. Visiting these culture hubs, engaging with artisans, and bringing home a piece of authentic batik is not just a souvenir, but a connection to a rich cultural tapestry.
As we conclude, what would you say to someone who's never explored the world of batik?
Just dive in. Beyond the colors and patterns, there's a universe of stories, philosophies, and traditions waiting to be discovered.
It's more than fabric. It's a living testament to Indonesia's cultural richness.
Well said. And with that, we wrap up our exploration into the captivating world of Indonesian batik. A special thanks to Kuro and Irfan for joining me on this journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep weaving the threads of cultural appreciation. Goodbye, everyone!
Dipancarkan dari kawasan Balai Budaya Minomartani, Radio Komunitas BBM FM.
Terima kasih. Anda sedang mendengarkan Radio Komunitas BBM FM 107,7 MHz.